In this video, I want to take you guys through all of the new game releases dropping this week. We got a freebie coming to PlayStation Plus if you are a Plus subscriber, and a couple of other games, especially on the Nintendo Switch. A stacked lineup of titles coming to that platform this week. But more on that in just a little bit. First of all, let's get right into it, and let's start things off with the PS Plus freebie that is dropping tomorrow, A Plaguetale Innocence. I've been talking very highly about this game ever since it came out on its original platforms, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's a great game in terms of engrossing you into the world and characters. That's really what you're going into this game for. Light on the gameplay elements, and that's not the star of the show here. The star is the story, the atmosphere, the world, and how dark of a tone and how engrossed you are into the game really quickly. Like, a lot of story-driven games take a little bit to actually get going and hook the player. This one, I mean, if you're not hooked by the first 30 minutes, I don't know what's going on, because it's that great of an opener. Best of all, if you do have a PlayStation 5, you'll be able to play it for free as a PlayStation Plus subscriber, quote-unquote free. You guys can take that how you will, but A Plaguetale Innocence is definitely a worthwhile game to check out. It would have been nice if they put this out on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 for Plus subscribers, because, you know, only available to PS5 subscribers is kind of lame. I get that this is the upgraded version, and I'm sure it's going to look really, really good. But it's unfortunate that PS4 owners are kind of left in the dust. But hey, if you are only a PS4 owner, remember you can go online, sign into your PSN account, add it to your library, and then if you get a PS5 in the near future, or, you know, if you get a PS5 at all, the game will be ready for you as long as you are still a Plus subscriber, so that's at least quite nice. Next up, we have the Silver Case 2425. So this is finally coming to Nintendo Switch. The Silver Case, a string of mysterious serial killings plagues the city, and the detectives of the 24 Wards Heinous Crimes Unit have their eyes on one man, a legendary serial killer who has assassinated a number of government officials 20 years prior in the now famous Silver Case. However, nobody knows who or what Kamui really is. Has he really returned? Who is the infamous serial killer? The 25th Ward, the Silver Case, takes place 5 years after the events of 1999's The Silver Case, and the game's been available for quite a while on other platforms, but it's nice to have on the Nintendo Switch. Being released at $39.99 might be a little bit pricey, given that you can get the games pretty cheap on other platforms, but still, at the very least, having it on the Switch is going to be nice, because this should be on as many platforms as humanly possible. This one is dropping on July 6th, tomorrow. Next up, a Nintendo Switch release that I am very excited for, also coming to PC in 3 days, July the 9th, Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. This is one that I am incredibly excited for, because I played Monster Hunter Stories on the Nintendo 3DS, and, you know, if you haven't played the 3DS game or you didn't try out the demo, you might be looking at this as a meme cash grab attempt because of the hype of Monster Hunter, and the series is incredibly popular right now after the release of World and Rise. However, Monster Hunter Stories on the Nintendo 3DS was awesome. It was actually a really well-made traditional JRPG, and this one expected to have a good story, expected to have good mechanics, and if you play the demo, you know that you're in for something really good out of Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. Yeah, it's going to be a full $60, and maybe that's a little bit off-putting to some people, but I think the game is going to have quite a bit of content, and if you're into Monster Hunter, you're going to enjoy some of the aesthetic presentation styles and some of the creatures that are in the game, but if you just want a quality JRPG, you're going to find that here as well. At least I believe you will. Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin is out Friday, July the 9th. Next up, a game making the transition from PlayStation 4 to Nintendo Switch and PC, another JRPG, Ys 9 Monstrum Nox, coming to Switch and PC, as I mentioned. This is a darker take on the Ys series. It just has a darker tone in general. It was received very well on PlayStation 4, and now it's going to be available on PC and Nintendo Switch, which is super exciting. The Ys games are one of the most consistent JRPG franchises, and if you haven't played Ys 8, I highly recommend you go and play that, because that game was one of the best titles in the entire franchise, had a great story, great music that you know, and the combat system, obviously, the Ys action-oriented combat system is something right up the alley of a lot of people. Ys 9 expected to have a lot of the same in terms of the excellent combat, great music, but also do expect, again, a darker tone on the story, which Ys 8 also had semblances of that, to be fair, but Ys 9 Monstrum Nox out tomorrow on PC, Nintendo Switch, already available for PlayStation 4, and this is a franchise and a game that do expect it to hold up in price for quite a while. The Ys games just don't go much cheaper. I mean, nowadays it's been many years since Ys 8 came out, and you can get that a little bit cheaper, but I do expect it to hold up in price for quite a while. I mean, NIS is increasing the prices of their games on PC for who knows what reason, but yeah, that is happening. But nevertheless, Ys 9 dropping tomorrow on PC and Nintendo Switch. Next up, here's a really cool platformer. Out of Line is coming to Nintendo Switch. Now, this is already available on PC. It's coming to PS4 and Xbox One later this year as well. We don't have an exact time frame on that outside of later this year, but Out of Line is noted to be a unique adventure game filled with beautiful puzzles, all hand-drawn in an original 2D style. Out of Line follows the adventures of San in a quest to escape the factory that was once home. Dive into a story set in a mysterious world that is revealed through multiple chapters. Visually, the game looks gorgeous, and if you're into platformers, this is probably going to be something right up your alley. It was released at $12.99 on PC. Hopefully it retains a similar price point on Nintendo Switch. The game also received a 92% positive reception on PC across 27 user reviews. So not a ton of user reviews, but those that played it seemed to really enjoy it, so hopefully it falls in line on Nintendo Switch, and hopefully we do get a release date for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version sooner rather than later. This is a game that seemingly hasn't seen a lot of sales on PC. I'm just saying that based on how many reviews there are, but hopefully it does resonate more as time goes on other platforms. And lastly, we have Boomerang X, which is another super interesting game. This is out on July the 8th on PC and Nintendo Switch. Boomerang X notes harness the power of a mystical boomerang to fling yourself through the air, slice, fly, and blast through arenas swarming with evil creatures. Stay agile or meet your doom. Another one with a pretty cool stylized art style. Definitely more of a shooter, an arena shooter at that, not your typical shooter that I think you would think of, but nevertheless, the game's got a pretty quirky art style and might be something that ends up surprising a lot of people. It is coming from Devolver Digital, and they usually publish pretty good stuff, and there is a demo available on PC, so you can check that out for now if you do want, but again, that is out July 8th. Only noted to be on PC and Nintendo Switch for now. Hopefully it does come to other platforms in the near future, and that's gonna wrap up this one. Again, as tradition and history has shown, July is usually one of the weaker months of game releases throughout the entire year. However, you know, you got some pretty cool releases here. Monstrum Nox Stories 2, I think, is going to be something a lot of people get into. Plaguetale Innocence being a plus title is always going to be nice. And then you have Ys 9 coming to PC and Switch. Out of Line looks like a really good platformer. However, I don't know how many people are actually going to check that out. But definitely keep it on your wish list if nothing else, if you don't plan on picking it up right away. Boomerang X looks pretty trippy, to say the least. So some pretty cool releases this week, but that's gonna wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.